Welcome to tonight's 5 on 5. Our guests tonight are former Texas Senator Wendy Davis, along with Elisa Denton she's the Regional Youth Programs Manager with Planned Parenthood. Ladies, thank you so much for being with us today.
Thanks for having us, Kyle.
Yeah,
of course. Well, I want to start, obviously, Planned Parenthood under a lot of controversy right now. I just want to start with that really fast and get that under the bus. Understand, regarding the videos that were released over the summer that people have been talking about, I understand Planned Parenthood has been making some changes that were announced this week. What can you guys tell us about that?
Well, I know that Planned Parenthood has changed a policy that it had in place, a legal policy to seek reimbursement for the cost of the transfer of fetal tissue, which is something that happens at less than 1% of their clinics around the country. But they've made a decision to remove the argument that in any way this is a problem. And they've decided to no longer charge anything for the reimbursement, to no longer accept reimbursement for the transfers of that tissue.
Okay, perfect. And, you know, when you really became really well known when you made that 13-hour filibuster, talk to us about what was your connection to Planned Parenthood and what were your what are your recent thoughts on the attacks on Planned Parenthood?
Like so many women in this country, I had a relationship with Planned Parenthood as a young woman. I think 1 in 5 women do. My experience as a young teenage single mother was that Planned Parenthood helped me prevent a second unplanned pregnancy. They were my only source of health care for about 4 years. And without them, I'm sure I wouldn't be sitting here today because I would not have been able to put my foot on the path of education and to make something of myself and to provide a better life for me and for my daughter.
And speaking for 13 hours, that is quite the remarkable feat. How do you continue to bring up relevant information for such a long period of time?
There's a lot to talk about when you're telling the personal stories of people who would be impacted by a decision like the one that was proposed and ultimately passed in Texas. A decision, a bill that actually wound up closing over half of the clinics in our state and threatens to close almost all of the remainder of them. We're waiting for what will happen at the U.S. Supreme Court, and I hope and expect that the decision will be in favor of women's health and against this bill that was actually quite hostile to women's health.
Well, as we said, you're from Texas, so what brings you here to Southern Oregon?
I'm here to speak this evening to a fundraising event to raise money for Planned Parenthood and the incredible work that they do, providing health care for so many women in this state.
Wonderful. And maybe, Elisa, maybe you could tell us a little bit more about this event and why you guys are putting it on.
Yeah, so tonight's gala is a celebration of the founding of Planned Parenthood of Southwestern Oregon in 1965. It was an organization really dedicated to educating the community about reproductive health and contraception. We opened our health center about 10 years later, offering contraceptive care and reproductive health services.
Perfect. And so any money raised tonight, where will that be going?
All of the proceeds from tonight will be to benefit education in Jackson and Josephine counties aimed at providing youth with medically accurate information and helping support the adults that care for them.
Can you talk to us a little bit more about these educational programs that you guys do offer?
Yeah, I'd love to. I could tell you a lot, but all of our programs follow the principles of rights, respect, and responsibility. We respect young people's ability to make really responsible and great decisions about their health care if we give them and provide the skills and the information and support that that decision requires. So to that end, for example, our Skills for Life program covers healthy relationships, decision-making skills, communication, goal setting, a whole array of topics. And our Innovative Rev program equips teens to better educate their fellow teens about making really great reproductive health decisions for themselves. We also provide training for adults, for example, our Sex Ed Boot Camp, which is really aimed at increasing adults' comfort in being a supportive and knowledgeable resource for young people. And there are many questions about sex and sexuality. So there's many more, but we don't have time to cover them all.
Absolutely. So. Well, if people want to get involved and support Planned Parenthood, what is the best way for them to do so?
Well, first and foremost, we're here to support the community, so get in touch with us to schedule a program so we can collectively better support our young people. And then the other way is that we really rely on the community to support these programs, and so you can visit our website at ppsworegon.org/donate to financially contribute.
Perfect. Elisa and Wendy, thank you guys so much for joining us tonight.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you.
Stay with us. We'll be back in just a moment.